we can move on to the next session, that is alopecia. Alopecia, in simple terms, it is hair loss. Today in this class we can see what is the definition of alopecia, what is the different forms of alopecia, what is the treatment modalities of alopecia. We can see the definition. Alopecia is defined as the loss of hair from areas where hair normally grows, partial or complete baldness or loss of hair. We can see different forms or types of alopecia. It includes alopecia areata, alopecia totalis, alopecia universalis, alopecia barbae, androgenic alopecia and scarring alopecias. We can see one by one each type of alopecia. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune condition which causes patchy hair loss. It can result in a single bald patch or extensive patchy hair loss. In this picture, you can see one or two small patchy hair loss can be observed. Right. Okay, this type of hair loss is known as the alopecia areata. It may be a long margin or the multiple patchy hair loss can be occur in the alopecia areata. In generally, the cause for hair loss include mental stress, prolonged medications, long-term illness, male pattern baldness, heredity, hormonal imbalance in women, autoimmune disorders, emotional stress, alopecia, etc. But in case of alopecia areata, the cause is autoimmune disorders. Most cause is autoimmune disorders such as vitiligo, then Hashimoto's disease, etc. Here what happens is the killer T cells cluster around the hair follicles to attack and destroy it. For an indefinite period of time, the hair follicle is prevented from producing normal hair growth. So in this picture you can see with hair and without hair what is the nature of appearance. Okay, after a long time the hair will be regain its function properly and hair may naturally grow. But the alopecia areata, there is a chance for recurrence. Okay, so it may occur in another areas. That is the main problem of alopecia areata. I already said alopecia areata, it's an autoimmune disease. So it can be evident in all the autoimmune disorders like thyroiditis, SLE, myasthenia gravis, vitiligo. These features may be evident. And also it may occur in atopic dermatitis, lichen planus and Down syndrome. The main feature of alopecia areata is the exclamation point hair. So that means the progressively narrowing hair strand continues to grow, forming an exclamation point hair. In this picture you can see the hair growth very thin in between. Okay, and after that the hair is normally growing. So that point is known as the exclamation point of hair. Progressively narrowing strand that is continuously growing. Okay. So you can see here in this picture you can see the exclamation point of hair. The hair is very thin in the nearest scalp and after that it is the long hair. Okay, normal hair can be seen. So that point is known as the exclamation point of hair. In this picture also you can observe the exclamation point of hair. Okay, the hair is progressively thin and that become the shape of exclamation point. That is known as the exclamation point of hair, and it is the hallmark of alopecia areata. Again, the nails also affected 20% of population. Okay, so most of the persons will have the problems in their nails, especially the nail plate will have the small pits can be observed. These features may be reoccur. Okay, it may be subside and chance for recurrence. Regarding the treatment, in generally we have to give the psychological support and reassurance to the patient. And hair loss, it will not be an favorable one to any patient. Okay, most of them will have the psychological impact or the stress. Okay, due to hair loss may be the chance for the stress. So educate the patient regarding the benign and self-limiting nature of the disease and explanation regarding the recurrence of the disease. Okay, most of them, the drug of choice is the topical steroids or the oral corticosteroids can be given. Dosage of 50 mg prednisolone can be given to the patient. Topical steroids or the oral steroids can be given. Then intralesional injections, intralesional corticosteroid injections can be given. Okay, depot glucocorticoids or any other medicines can be given. Anyway, the intralesional injections, that is better in the lesion. Okay. Then a topical application of already said steroids. Then Seralin and ultraviolet therapy, that is PUA therapy, can be given for the regrowth of hairs. And then minoxidil can be given. While applying the steroids, hypersensitivity have to check. So these all are the measures can be done for treating alopecia areata. Now we can see what is alopecia totalis. So alopecia totalis means complete baldness of the scalp. In this picture you can see the scalp is completely balded, right? So here there is no hair in the scalp. That is known as the totalis, alopecia totalis. Complete baldness of the scalp is known as the alopecia totalis. Next one is alopecia universalis. Alopecia universalis, otherwise known as the alopecia areata universalis, and it is the severe form of alopecia. Okay, here complete loss of hair in the body. That will be happen. The scalp will be complete bald, and the eyelashes and the eyebrows, armpit hair, chest hair, pubic hair, all the hairs will be lost for this patient. Okay, that's why it is known as the alopecia universalis. Complete hair loss of the body, and it is a severe form of alopecia, and it may be associated with the alopecia areata. That's why alopecia areata universalis. Next one, alopecia barbae. Alopecia barbae means hair loss in the bearded area. Okay. So in this picture you can see the circular motion, there is a hair loss, right? So that is known as the alopecia barbae. Next one, androgenic alopecia. Androgenic alopecia is a hormone mediated baldness that develops in genetically predisposed individuals and is characterized by progressive symmetric diffuse hair loss concentrated in the frontocentral areas of the scalp. So actually androgenic, the name itself, it's a hormone, right? So androgenic alopecia is a hormone-mediated baldness and mostly occurs in genetically predisposed individuals. That means it is hereditary. If the parents have the features of baldness, definitely the offspring has the chance to get baldness in future. And it occurs, it starts from 20s and expressed by 40s, and mostly seen in males than females. Females also seen this type of baldness, but males are most common. Causes of alopecia include idiopathic, adrenal hyperplasia, polycystic ovaries, ovarian hyperplasia, pituitary hyperplasia, drugs, example testosterone, danazol, adrenocorticotropic hormone, then family history of baldness. These are the causes of androgenic alopecia. Idiopathic means unknown, adrenal, polycystic ovaries, ovarian hyperplasia, pituitary hyperplasia, all these things are related to hormone. Then drugs, so example the testosterone drugs, danazol, ACTH drugs, all this may related to cancer or related to sexual problems. All these things we will use these drugs. Okay, so as a side effect you may get this baldness. Then family history of baldness, so that may leads to the androgenic alopecia. So that's regarding the causes. And now we can move on to the features of androgenic alopecia or the patterned alopecia. In men, there will be central scalp thinning, especially the frontal and parietal areas. Then thinning of the hair, then baldness on the vertex, relatively intact hair over the occipital and the temporal areas. So here you can see in this picture, in the center or in the frontal and the parietal area there will be hair loss. Okay, and the occipital and the temporal areas there is no that much hair loss. Okay, most of the hair is lost or hair is thinned in the frontal areas. Okay, this is known as the central scalp thinning. Okay, so there is no hairs. Okay, or the less hair. Okay, and we can see the scalp easily, especially it start from the center portions. Okay, that is known as the central scalp thinning. In case of women, it is diffuse thinning of hairs. The central thinning also there, but usually the diffuse thinning is there. Then retention of hair along the frontal hairline that may either be straight or M-shaped. Increased spacing between the hairs. The hair are miniaturized and are varying length and diameter. So most of the time in the woman there will be the space between the hair that is increased, and the hair length will be reduced. It will become short and short. We can move on to the treatment. So here the minoxidil solutions can be used, and minoxidil foam is also available, and finasteride that also can be used. So in minoxidil solution, that is useful for 30 to 40% of patient in order to achieve the hair regrowth. But they have to use after 9 to 12 months of use, then only they will have the hair growth. So it's we have to use continuously. Okay, then oral estrogen therapy. Sometimes oral estrogen therapy also useful in female patient. Okay, especially in postmenopausal state, the oral estrogen will be useful for this patient. Then finasteride. Finasteride also a medicine that will help for the hair growth. Next one is scarring alopecia. Scarring alopecia means any inflammatory process on the scalp sufficient to cause loss of follicles and scar formation will result in permanent loss of hair in the affected area. For example, mechanical trauma, burns, bacterial infections, or severe inflammatory ringworm infections may produce sufficient damage that will cause scarring and permanent hair loss. One more condition is there, that is known as the telogen effluvium. Telogen effluvium that occurs related to childbirth or related to sudden severe systemic illness such as pneumonia or massive blood loss or severe stress related. Okay, so what happens here is all the hair follicles will be in a resting phase. So what happens? The hair loss, massive hair loss will be there and there is no hair growth. Okay, after few months the condition will be reverse. Okay, to the original state. So that is the telogen effluvium. Related to stress, it may occurs. Next, we can see the general management of alopecia. So here, firstly, treatment of underlying cause. If the hair loss is due to any underlying cause, it should be treated. Then no curative treatment is available. Actually, we can try the drugs. That only the treatment modality. The next one is the hair transplantation, but it is very costly. Okay, then psychological support from the surroundings. So it's painful to the patient. Okay, alopecia is painful psychologically. It's very painful to the person. Okay, so we have to give the support. Then if persons with extensive scalp involvement such as alopecia totalis, that conditions we can use the wig or hairpiece, etc. Then application of makeup or tattoo to eyebrow in case of alopecia universalis. Usually as a medical management we are giving this type of drugs, finasteride, then minoxidil, then dutasteride. These medicines can be given as a medical management. The surgical management is the hair transplantation.